mama kungda, mama neondo, majando makanyolo, mawonu lekola, nunyo, randejo, yaunge nunyo, randejo, yaunge nunyo, randejo, wande, mana wani era pena nukorile, yaunge nunyo, randejo, yaunge nunyo, randejo.
He has given me victory. Oh, the God has given me victory. He has given me victory. Oh, all the days of my life I praise you. Everything that I have now you gave to me, Baba. Lord, I say, for your love I'm grateful. Yes, you love me plenty. You came to die for me. Jehovah Rapha, Jehovah Nissi, I am the ooh. Oh, I searched around, there's no one else like you. Lion of Judah, you're the man, the man, the man.
God has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
He has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
God has given me victory.
He has given me victory. Hallelujah.
You are moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here moving in a midst. Worship you. I worship you. You are here working in this. I worship you. I worship you. Hey, maker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Chiale,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Loriana Kachiana,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Kapita Kambeana,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Monsikelana,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Regina Peana,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Victor Baniana,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona,
Wanachiale,
Yobe, Sabachiana Yona.
Regina Peana,
Anasiole, Eyole, Anasiole, Eyole, Anasiole, Eyole, Anasiole.
Eyo la lo,
Eyo, eyo, ao, ayao.
eyo lo,
Eyole, ao, eyole.
ani ana kachiana.
Eyo, eyo, ao, ayao.
Eyo lo,
Eyole, ao, eyole.
abio to wayo. Tuja we blame.
Again, folks, Sam Sinto. I'm truly enjoying myself. I'm going to be trying to adjust my system here from time to time. So just bear with me. There's nothing here to hide. We're all in it together. So it's no big deal. Okay. Welcome. LIBERIA Public Radio. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful Friday afternoon. Of course, we say thank you very much for joining us. Those of you that are joining us today, it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful idea, wonderful, wonderful subject matter to be discussed here tonight. I want to thank all of you. I also want to thank Mr. Gism Jerry for hosting me earlier. I was on his show talking about our community issue. Now I'm here talking about national issue. Excuse me. Oh, Jesus. Okay, safety, folks. Summer is about almost over. At this point, going back to cars again. I hope by now you're getting ready to do the reverse of what you did when I was talking to you before the summer. Now you're going to have to change antifreeze again. You're going to get ready for cold time. So you're going to be putting some stuff in there that will allow the cold air to not block your engine. Because if you put water in there, you're going to freeze it up. So antifreeze. Make sure you have yourself a windshield wiper as well. Windshield wiper blade, good blade. A beautiful blade. They're not that expensive, $17, $16 a piece. Depends on what you want to do. And there are those blades that are $50, $60, even $100 or more. But they're for special car. I don't have that kind of car yet. The special car I'm talking about, they ain't making it yet for something too, so I don't reach there yet. But anyway, you go and get these things. If you have to do other things, for example, if you want to put windshield wiper fluid in your car, check it out. The other day, just small sidebar here. My daughter called me the other day. She's on campus. She's doing summer. Yes, she's on campus. I told her stay there. Don't come to town. Stay there. No, I didn't tell her. She said she wanted to stay to finish up quicker. But when she called me up and said, Dad, every time when I'm driving and making the turn, I hear this strange sound. So I said, what does it sound like? Like somebody squeezing something. So I recognized immediately that it was power steering fluid, because when the power steering fluid is dried out when you're turning, it makes some strange sound like somebody squeezing something. So I told her, okay, this is what you need to do. You have to go to the nearest place and make sure you find power steering fluid. It's not expensive. $4 or $5 will get you one. So she went. She said, I told her, I said, okay, when you get there, I was at work. I said, when you get there, call me and I'll tell you, because I've already done that kind of work before. I'll tell you where to put it. She said, she got there, she called me. I forgot. My phone was ringing, but I wasn't answering because I don't even hear it. So guess what? She did it herself. I was so proud of her, but I didn't tell her that. So proud of her for her to be able to do something like that for herself. I'm so proud, but I didn't tell her that. Anyway, so those are the kind of things you need to check. You're getting ready to come from a air conditioner. Now you're going to get ready to go to the heating system. Make sure when you're ready, your thermostat already check out. Those are the kind of thing you want to pay attention to. Another thing you want to pay attention to is this. Make sure you get blanket, water, flashlight in your car at all times. Doesn't matter what. Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. That's the end of the subject. Why am I standing up and falling? The stomach too big. The stomach too big. Every time I turn this side, the stomach go. You see I'm falling down already because the stomach taking me. While swing this way, the stomach go. I go there with the stomach. So I gotta take care of the stomach. It's too big. It's too big. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. By the way, let me go on. So safety. My brothers and sisters are gathering over there in Baltimore tonight. The Boston District Association. I wish them luck, and I hope they'll be successful. The guest speaker, I hope when he's ready tonight that I'm not going to be on here that long because I'm sure Mr. So will want to carry that program. So we'll want to make sure we have room for them to carry the program as well. But it's a very interesting subject matter tonight. I'm not going to be here that long. Folks, on a very serious note, I told you guys the other day, there's a map of Liberia. That said seals of Liberia. Love of liberty brought us here. Some of us, when we were young, way back when, we used to argue, no, love of liberty met me here. It didn't bring me here. But the older you get, the more understanding you are with the words. The word itself, I don't care whether it brought me here or it met me there. It doesn't matter. What it is a symbol. Stand for freedom. And that's what Liberia is. We're having some issue that is happening in Liberia, and most people are not paying attention. All people are talking about is how Dr. We are going to be honoring his old coach, and why is he going to be honoring his coach. Those are the kind of discussion they're having. The main issue, whether coach honoring or no coach honoring, if these things get messed up, if we don't pay attention to these things and address them properly, we might not even get a place to honor anybody. Because these are emotional issues and they're affecting people. And they will affect people. Folks, I told you the other day when I was here that we have, if you watch my stuff, I said something about whether Liberia is a country of men or a country of law. I'll show you stuff here the other day with the justice, one of the associate Justice Jana. They're still on it, but it's getting deeper. It's getting deeper to the point, those of us that consider ourselves political junkie and love this idea of being involved intellectually, this thing is becoming a constitutional crisis. If people back home, level-headed, group in Liberia, don't get hold of this thing, it's liable to turn to constitutional crisis. And you can't have crisis and expect foreigners to invest in your country. And Liberia, like any other developing country, depends on investment, foreign investment. Depends on goodwill of foreigners. They will not look at you if you're having confusion in your area because you're not serious for development. This is getting to be something else. Let's get hold of these things. Those of you that are involved in these legal issues, those of you that are lawyers among us, please get involved. Get involved. I know there are certain groups have already been involved, and I will read that later. But get involved. Make your voice heard, to stand out among people. This is not time for us to say, oh, we're demonstrating for this and those who want to demonstrate, you go ahead and do that. It's your right. But the main issue is being left behind. Because if the country having a constitutional crisis and you're not getting foreign investment and people are not getting you loan, there will be no way the government of the Republic of Liberia will be able to support people. In other words, those that it employs. And the employers and the employees are not getting the loan because no money to pay them. What do you think gonna happen? So let's pay attention to these things. And those of you that are able to connect with people, family member, Bicom, please do so. Because we cannot afford to slide back. Even those of you that are arguing for war crime, quote, economic crime, criminal code, whatever you want to call it, to be established in Liberia, good idea. But what good is it if the institutions for which you're trying to refer this issue to, if they are not standing? If the institution that's supposed to be the one for the international community to look up to, if they are not standing, what good is it? What good is it? Right now we're having issues between the legislatures and the judiciary. And it's very funny, very, very funny. Certain things are happening right now that for me, I'm not quite pleased with it. But then you say, who cares, Mr. Toe? Who are you? You live in America. Who cares? What are you pleased or not? That's okay. You don't have to consider my feelings. You don't have to consider my feelings. That's okay. But I'm saying to you, there's another article also that says Liberian majority of people in Liberia depend on their brothers and sisters here in America to support them. And how soon before the people say, you know what, myself, I'm suffering too? Because every time they send you money, you can't apply, you're not applying the money correctly. Not that you're unable to do it, but because of these little crises, the government is unable to look at these things, how to resolve the economic issues in Liberia, because they got their hand full with foolishness. I will consider it. Folks, let's talk about it. This is the picture of the justice. And this is the lady who land. The people say the justice acquired illegally, for which they're trying to impeach him. They're also trying to impeach him because they say he doesn't have a good standing. I don't know what that is. They've never told us anything. But this is getting out of hand. It's getting, you know, the latest one, and I'm getting to it. I'm just giving you from how it started and where we're going with it. So after this issue, the justice in chamber at the time, Justice Joel, put a stay on the impeachment proceeding. And some of us were like, no, it's not time yet. It's not quite time yet because there's never been, there's the process itself. It's constitutionally, the legislature have the right to carry on the process. The process has, for us, for me, I'm not a lawyer, but for me, I have not seen or read anything that violates somebody's constitutional rights, for which the justice of the constitutional or the Supreme Court will want to step in. So I thought perhaps if the system is, if the process is giving the free hand to say, okay, do what you have to do in the House, but then eventually we're going to review it. But instead, she put a stay on it. Then a big thing happened. Okay. Then the chamber, Dr. Chamber, not only refused her order, told the people to carry on the process, not even listen to her. Then the Chief Justice got involved. And the whole Supreme Court is not involved. This is what I'm going to be discussing here tonight. Okay. When the Supreme Court got involved, they wrote to Dr. Chamber to see reason to come to the Supreme Court and have a hearing. And they said they're not coming. They have no reason. In fact, one of the language that was used, and I thought it was very kind of funny for me, because there's no reason for that. Okay. This is a country that's just coming from a civil war. And these institutions, the judiciary, the legislatures, the executive, need to be strong. And the only way, my opinion, that these institutions can be strong is for each of those sister institutions to support each other. And how do you do that? Not by ridiculing the other institution. Not by undercutting the other institution. If one of the institutions make a mistake and get involved into something that perhaps they're not supposed to, you follow the process, but you explain to them. Okay? And it's not being done. I can't get to my page right now. It's not being done. So quite recently, according to Daily Observer, the Chief Justice wrote, and Dr. Chimmer and the people replied and say you are stepping over your boundary. And they pointed out to them. And that's the part I want to read, but my stuff is not cooperating with me at all. I'm not too sure why. Okay. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Okay. And they wrote the Supreme Court. And in there, they mentioned something about, I don't know why I'm not. Okay. But anyway, I'll just paraphrase it. Eventually I'm going to get it here. I got it earlier and set it up and things like that. But these are age of technology. You know, you can't depend on them that well. Okay. Okay. But anyway, so they they wrote, and in their letter to the Chief Justice, to the Supreme Court, they issue certain uh, mention certain article from the Constitution for which they think that the Supreme Court were violating. And those article was listed. I just can't get to them right now, but I'm going to do my best before the end of the night. I will do so and get to it. But anyway, so because I have everything set up, then of course computer went out and it's back on. That's fine. But anyway, I'm sure some of you been following anyhow. But in that letter, they listed certain article, and each of the article, what the article stated, the data observer went through the article themselves and put those up. And in one of them, in one of the article, and I don't know the exact number now because I had it down here earlier, but I can't get it. Okay, let me try again. Let me try again. Okay, but in that article, it says it stated that you know dividing the duty among three of them. Who's responsible for what? The law, the legislature are responsible for impeachment proceeding. They're also responsible to make laws. The Supreme Court is responsible to interpret the law. This is what Dr. Chimber and his people are forgetting to know. And I hope to see that letter before. Okay. Okay. The Supreme Court, folks, just bear with me, please. The Supreme Court supposed to be interpreting the law. So here's the funny thing now. The legislature are accusing the Supreme Court of violating the law. In order for me to accuse you of violating my right, my according to the law, I have to tell you what the law is. And if I'm telling you what the law is, I have to point out certain facts. Mind you now, by doing that, I'm interpreting the law. This is, for me, that's the very funny, sticky point here. The legislature is supposed to be making a law. They also are responsible for the impeachment proceeding. But they are not entitled to interpret the law. And if the Supreme Court overstep its bound, according to the Constitution, I don't believe that it is the right of the legislature to interpret the law by explaining the Supreme Court what part of the Constitution they are violating. Am I making sense? Seriously. Seriously. You can point that out. But what are these laws, these constitutions? They are words that express certain sentiment. They are words that means different to different people. So if you come out and say that you are violating this part of the Constitution that said blah, 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 you are now interpreting the law, and it's not your responsibility. Does it make sense? Because the legislature are not supposed to interpret the law. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Maybe I'm wrong. But I would think that if certain things like this happen, okay, that we're coming from a civil war, We don't need these kinds of stuff. Beating chest. Who are you to tell me, and you know this is my house? We live under the same roof because we have a room, the house that is divided into rooms. Whatever is your room is fine. But if I come in your room or say something about something in your room that I'm violating the rules of the house, but the house rule says that I'm the one supposed to interpret the violation. Folks, this is very, these are some of the things that if you're educated, sometimes you act like you're stupid, but it's not. Intellectual. You don't put yourself in a position where there is no room for compromise. And I think that's exactly what the legislature have done. I thought they would have gone to the Supreme Court and have their lawyer argue before the Supreme Court the violation. And let the Supreme Court say, okay, thank you for bringing it to our attention. We're entitled to interpret the law. And let's see how fair they're going to be. But instead, you decide to take a high ground. I'm not coming. Why? Because you're violating my rule. Okay? Okay? I can't find this thing. You guys have been reading it. You know what I'm talking about. So the point that I'm making here is this. The Supreme Court, they know. That's what they got over these people. They're not stupid. So what did they do? According to the article, they have invited the muscle arms of the law in Liberia, the Justice Department, the Justice Ministry, to be involved. And why do you think they're getting the Justice Minister involved? To carry out the proper law. If it means to bring people according to the law. However, the Constitution also says no member of the legislature should be arrested or be intimidated based on their view expressed during the process of carrying on the legislature process. So this thing is all tango twinking and everywhere you want to go. Nobody is right at this point. Nobody is going to claim right to this process. I don't see it. I don't see it. Because if Dr. Chima is refusing to honor the letter or to honor whatever letter that comes from the Supreme Court, he's expressing his view based on the legislature point. And the Constitution says you can't arrest him, you can't fault him for that. Because that's his right. Then let's go back to my initial point. If it is the right of Dr. Chima and his people to say we can't come, and according to the Constitution, you cannot arrest those people for not hearing to your call. You can't cite them. You can't intimidate them. You can't, according to the Constitution. I could be wrong. I'm not a lawyer. Let's put it down. I keep telling you that. So if it is, just go on there and say, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. And I will say fine, but I will still talk anyway. You can't intimidate these people. You can't cite them. You can't fine them because they refuse to come to the Supreme Court to answer questions. Why? Because the Constitution says you cannot intimidate, arrest, or do anything to any of the legislatures as long as they are expressing their position based on legislation process. So who you think going to say they're right? And the justice of the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice, is a very smart guy. Very smart guy. Guess what he did? And this is what I call man. He's not, I know he's an older gentleman, but he respects the rules. And he knows that this thing is not supposed to be. And guess what? He's giving them 2 weeks or so for them to go and think about it. All of them. And that's how intellectuals get involved into something like this that is liable to give us a constitutional crisis. Instead of Dr. Chima and his people beating their chest and the Supreme Court also beating their chest, then they expect the executive to come and try to referee. Now, executive is not out of the blame at all, because from the beginning of the story, that lady picture that I show you, according to the story, she wrote to Dr. Weir, and according to the story, Dr. Weir turned the information on to the legislature. So the executive is not completely out of it, folks. This is going to be fun. If you like Liberia and you love Liberia and you're a political junkie, this is like a Super Bowl. Except we pray that it doesn't turn out to be violent. So the question now is, what do we do? Dr. Chima, I don't agree with the title, but they're in the right. They're also violating the Constitution as well. The same Constitution that they're accusing the Supreme Court of violating, they themselves is violating the Constitution as well. Because by you telling the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia that you are violating my right, what is your right? According to the Constitution, this, you are now interpreting the Constitution. And it's not your prerogative to interpret the Constitution. You make the law. So I thought, these things here, these things, they don't just, this is not something that happened overnight. Most of these people in Liberia that are holding this position study here in America. Most of them. And in America here we have the community organizations where constitution comes about and people argue about the wording of certain language in the Constitution. And somebody can break up the organization. One word that is in the Constitution that people don't agree with can break up the Constitution. Can break up the organization. So most of these people have been involved in this type of quasi-argument for a very long time. Now they have taken it to the bigger stage. Once again, yeah. Nobody's win. I'm not saying this person right, that person wrong. But the institution that's supposed to be for us, for which the developmental agenda of the Republic of Liberia should be based on. If they are weakened, how do you develop? You don't develop nothing. Give it an example. So you have weakened the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia. You are weakening the judicial system because you refuse now to abide by the judicial order. So other people are like, hey, wait, you don't mean anything, man. So now you want to do development. You lock it to get $1 billion. You give it to somebody to do contract. The person refused. Just the department want to take the person. The person got money already. Ain't nobody going. You're not going to give anybody $1 million contract. The person don't have money. So the person hire a lawyer. The same Supreme Court, the same court system that is being weakened by this type of process, is now the court system the government going to try to run to rescue them. Because you can't just say because the man owe me, you're killing, you're putting your fire and cry and kill. You can't do that. Even before he's killed, he has to be judged first. But the judicial system, if it's weakened, and you're asking that weak system to come and rescue you, how is that possible? So this thing is deeper, way deeper. So we don't want, these are the kind of crises we want to avoid. This type of crisis is very dangerous, more than the monetary crisis we had and we still having. So cooler hair prevails. So was the Chief Justice himself. He looked at the situation. He could have demanded they live the body of the legislature, which would have been complete violation of the Constitution. The people refuse to come to my order like my uncle in total would do. I give you that. Let me give you the smallest story here about my uncle in total. They call him Peter Toe. He's my uncle. So he was just the P. So he going around one morning, walking around, he found that his brother, my older uncle, in front of the house was dirty. According to him, the women didn't sweep early enough when he got there. So he said, Sharuto. My uncle said, yeah, sorry, not there. Speaking, he said, sorry, the man named Sawyer. He said, oh, I said, Sharuto, my name is Justin Toe. So, okay, Justin Toe, what you say? I'd like to see you in my court in less than 30 minutes. But he was very serious. So my uncle said, okay. So this is something that I watched it. I saw it. I was there. So when my uncle got up, before that time, in most of these towns, family always lived together in quarter. So as my uncle was talking to his brother, my dad, his other brother, about 4 or 5 brothers, they all heard it. So when my uncle got up to go, every one of them followed my uncle to their brother courthouse. I followed myself. So as they were going, my other auntie that lives on the other side of the town, she heard the story. She got on, and we all went to the courthouse. He sat down behind the desk with a LIBERIA flag behind him. So my uncle said, okay. So what you say? He said, no. This is the LIBERIA. He asked my uncle, you see what behind me? He said that LIBERIAN flag. Once you come in here and I'm behind the flag, I'm no longer Sawyer. My name is Justin Toe. So, okay, Justin Toe, what's going on? He said, when I came over there, I saw your place was dirty. And according to the rule from Monrovia, everybody have to clean in front of their houses. So I'm going to fine you $10. So my uncle got angry. Because all his brother was my father. Everybody was sitting there. My uncle, Omer Sharu, got angry. He said, Sawyer. He said, oh, for calling my traditional name. True story, folks. For calling my traditional name. $5 fine on top of the $15 or $20, whatever you find here. Boom. My auntie got out. I said, Sawyer. He said, oh, you got involved. His own sister now. You got involved. $5. Boom. My father got a Sawyer. He said, they all were $5. So they started repeating it. He keep raising the stuff. Before long, the money come up to almost $150 from $5. So of course the people have to step in and say, sorry, you can, because he was ready to lock them up in a Sawyer barracks. He was going to send word to the soldier to come and get his brothers and sisters and lock them up. And he would have been within his right because he's behind the flag of the Republic of Liberia behind him. And so if the army people come from the barracks, they would listen to him because he's the Chief Justice. He's the Justice of the Peace. So people would be, yeah, okay, let's go. So my uncle friend, he was the Parliament chief, said, Sawyer. He said, you're you're one of the officials of the government of the Republic of Liberia. So I will respect you for calling my traditional name. But from now on, I will ask you, because if I come to your courthouse, he's talking to the Parliament chief now. If I come to your courthouse, I'm also going to respect the flag. So I ask you to, the chief said, okay. Justice Toe said, yes, sir. He said, please, I stand bond for these people, and I will come and talk to you later. He said, okay. And this is what he said. I was in the court. That was his house. It wasn't the real court. Well, it was a court because that was his house, and he had a PSI over there where he had a flag. I was right there. He said, until these people step out of this courthouse, I don't want to hear anybody calling my name. I don't want them to say anything about my father or our father. Nothing. Every one of them were quiet. So the Parliament chief told them, okay, you please be quiet until we get outside. So when they got outside, my auntie. So yeah, now they started cussing him up. My father said, the next time you come in the corner, because he was living at a gate area, the next time you come in the corner, you will not eat. So he got outside. Okay, I'm not in the courthouse. I'm gonna eat your food, bro. When I come where I'm gonna eat. You think your wife will meet me? So they started talking. But the interesting thing was he was following the law according to him, and he has a flag behind him. So there was no reason why his own brothers should go to that courthouse, knowing fully well you were stepping into the courthouse of the Republic of Liberia. You can't get there and call the man using his traditional name. One of my cousins calling me now. I bet he calling about my story because he knows about it. But anyway, it's the same thing here. But could the hell prevail that time when the Parliament chief stepped in? So this time around, the Chief Justice stepped in and said, look, let's cool off. Let's give ourselves time to discuss this thing. So right now, they're waiting for 2 weeks. The Justice Department is involved. The lawyer for Justice Jana is involved. The hopefully the legislature are going to be involved. And here's the interesting thing here that this legislature have done that perhaps don't give them good standing either. The rule of my understanding, the rule of the legislature, the house, the lower house, they have committee, judiciary committee that order these proceeding, impeachment proceeding, whatever it is that have to do with law that goes through them, it has to go through the committee. But my understanding, Dr. Chima, and I could be wrong, but my understanding that Chima and his people suspended the rule of the lower house, thereby allowing him, Dr. Chima, who is a speaker, to establish or form an ad hoc committee. And when he did that, according to the story, he packed the ad hoc committee with all members of his party, CDC. So in fact, one of the young men, the last time I think I told you about it, he got up and he was angry. And he went on to say, why would Dr. Chima pack the CDC, pack the committee with sedition? So what's about them? So people are already frowning on the process. People are also speculating that the reason they're going after Dr. Jana is because he was a lone wolf during the election process. Because remember, there was a debate in front of the Supreme Court during the election that they wanted to, the Liberty Party and I think one other party decided they wanted to ask the Supreme Court to suspend the election. And he was only one justice who agreed with that. The rest of the justices said, no, we're going to carry on because there's not a good reason for us to suspend the election. So now the people that brought the impeachment proceeding against this man are all top members of CDC. So people are suspecting that because of that decision he made, they want him out of there. So quite recently, and again, I can't get my stuff, the Elder Council of Nima County, and there's who be who in Nima County, their names are on there. Go and read it. They want this process to be halted. They want to put stop to the process. They want the impeachment proceeding. They're not even going the way of the Supreme Court or anything. They just want it to stop. The same argument that I'm making is the same argument they themselves are making. That our democracy, even though it started back in 1847, but as far as we're concerned, it just started, 15, 16 years ago. It's still young. Because when you come from Civil War, look at the Liberians, look at our brothers and sisters. They're all young people. Do they clearly understand? Some of them don't even know who was the flag maker, Susanna, whatever her name is. I forget her name now. It's been a long, long time. They don't know that. They don't know what these stripes, 11 stripes. They don't know what they mean. What they mean. What the star on our flag, what they mean. Most of the young people probably don't even know. So they're arguing that we're just coming from war. Let's try our best instead of bringing these divisive issues. Because here's the thing. Justice Jana is from Nima County. Justice Jana is a Manigo man. It's a pure Liberian. Justice Jana was involved in the bringing the war to an end. So he's not a strange person to the Liberian crisis. Okay. So the people from Nima County, there are few real name be who be who, their name on there. They're asking that the whole thing stop. Let the legislature concentrate on reconciling Liberians instead of bringing on the considered divisive process. And at the end, before they sign, they ask them, "This is a good sons of Nima." It's in that article. Good son of Nima. So they not shine away from this brother. And if you're going to push it, the person they consider good son of Nima, and you push the issue, now that he's being considered good son of Nima, what is Nimadian going to say to you? We don't need that. We don't need that. Yeah, we are. We're still fighting to try to get some money to do raw. Nothing doing. Why do we have to go through this? This is Samson told LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm going to go ahead. I'm not going to be here that long tonight. Okay. Oops. All right. So we just. Okay. So again, I just want you to understand. I want you to go to Daily Observer and find those two articles that I'm talking about and be able to read them for yourself. Okay. Do we really need these kinds of stuff? I don't think so. Let us try our best to avoid these kinds of mistakes. Folks, look at Somalia. Look at, for Christ's sake, look at Sudan. Look at South Sudan. When will we get out of these kinds of stuff and be able to train our young people? I was reading something from the UN the other day. Africa as a whole, within the next 15, 20 years, will be the emerging economy in the world. People, everybody in the, if we do it right, everybody in the world will want to do the same thing they did to Japan, same thing they did to Korea, same thing they're doing to India right now. If we train the young people well, Africa will be the place everybody will want to do business because they have the young mind. Most of the world population is getting older. Africa population is getting younger. I don't know what that is. Other people say because of war, what have you. But Liberia is right there in the mix of it. Instead of concentrate, these legislation concentrate in the area that you're representing. Make sure these young people go to school. Talk to them. The importance of education. You don't necessarily have to be in a classroom to be educated. If for some reason going to a classroom is difficult for you, make them to see reason to take a trade. Something that they will do for themselves and not beg for people. Go to Monrovia. What kind of people are this? You're left right there in the Monrovia. You're left right there in the city. When you're driving past Taylor House, going to SKD Boulevard, you see all these people selling in the middle of the street. Young people selling in the middle of the street. Whether school days or not. Now these young people that are selling now, 20, 30 years from now, they will be old. They won't be able to sell in the street anymore. How do you support that population? You don't have a system set up to support anybody. You're making $15,000, $16,000 a month. So you say, okay, my time finished now, I'm out of there. Let it go. You're making the problem difficult for the young generation. What kind of greedy business is that? The young people that are coming behind you, that's supposed to be taking your place, you're not fixing that place for them. You're making it messy for them. Why is that? You always people want to be greedy. And then when the young people come, then they say, oh, but it will take us a long time to fix this thing. You have the opportunity. Civil War came, and this is why I usually don't really like the way our mother of the land behave. And if you've been watching my show, I've always called her mother of the land. I thought that after the Civil War, everything almost fresh, that would have been a perfect opportunity to give us a system. And for once, Liberians, I thought they would have forgotten themselves for once and think about the future of the country. Because if they put themselves aside and say, we're here to do a work, we're going to build so that the young people will come, they be on something. At least a structure is in there for them to build something on. But what do they do? What do they do? Every one of those people are rich today. Go to any one of the former ministers. I don't care what part of the world they live. They're not broke. That's being selfish. Now Dr. Weir and people came in. Nothing. They got to start fresh almost. After 12 years, they got to start fresh almost. What is that they're going to build off of? And you're sitting there making noise about Dr. Weir day, he not doing that, he not doing that. For me, I just don't agree with that. And I wish I had the opportunity last night to ask Mr. Patrick, who was on LPR last night. And the question I was going to ask is, these are all your friends. Advocacy does not mean you can't compromise. You don't compromise your value, but you compromise in the interest of those you're advocating for. So, okay, I'll give you an example. You advocate for somebody to get a ship because the situation in Monroe is bad. But there's a ship that through only you can talk for that group of Liberians to get on that ship to go out. Okay? But you get on that, you go negotiate. And then the person owning the ship says, okay, I don't mind taking people. But in order for me to take people, I want to 10 bags of rice they were supposed to eat tomorrow. I want them. Let my crew eat it. He said, no, I'm advocating for these people. They have to eat. Where is a compromise? In that particular situation, you have to compromise so the people you're advocating for can get out of this bad situation to go to the next level. But you don't demand. You demand in certain instances. But you don't say my no is a no. Then you're going nowhere. You are just making noise for nothing because the other people say their no is no also. Where are you going to go now? Their no is no, your no is no. Who knows is going to be yes? No compromise. We're not coming together. This is what gets to me most of the time. Because most of the people that are involved in the advocacy, they are intelligent, highly educated. But in any one of those classrooms that they had, especially side classes and things like that, the word compromise is there. When you compromise is not a bad word for me. What I don't want to do is to compromise my value. And what are my value? I don't want to go out there and go steal from somebody. I want to work for it. I don't want to go out there and go disgrace myself. I want to be proud of myself. However, if I go for a job that I know the job is beneath me, I don't know what that is, beneath me, I don't know what, I'm just throwing the word out there. But the person said, Mr. Toh, you're an engineer, we have an engineer position. But guess what? In order to get to that engineer position, you got to start from here. You got to go clean bathroom and stuff like that. And I want that position. I'm going to have to compromise because I know my ability. I can clean well. I can clean toilet well. I can also do good engineering. So either way, I can sell myself. Compromise. But you stand firm and your no is no. You think you're the only man? you think you're the only one can say no? Think about it. You think you're the only one can say no? They can also say no too. So let's see who no will grow fire than the other no. We're going nowhere. This is some of the things that I keep talking about. The issue of compromise is very important. The war, I'm going to be touching here and there tonight, folks. Samson told Liberian Public Radio. The war crime court establishment that people are fighting about. Let's go back to this issue. If this judiciary is not strengthened, if the legislature is not strengthened, if even the executive that people trying hard to bring down, if it's not strengthened, how the heck you think you're going to be successful bringing people to trial? If all of the institutions are weak, how are you going to get anybody to trial? You think they're just going to walk and say, oh yeah, I am? They're going to have to respect the law. And the law must be stronger for people to respect it. Just human nature. What's wrong with you? When was the last time you in Liberia? When was the last time you walked and you saw a drunken policeman, all drunk, and he tells you, stand there, don't move, and you listen to him? Especially if he doesn't have gun. But if a well-dressed police officer, clear eye, walk to you and say, I say, stand, you would think twice before you move, because he respects himself, he respects the position, and he put himself in the position in a particular area where you will have to respect you. That's how you do it. The system must be respected. And in order for the system to be respected, the system must always be strengthened. And only us, Liberian, can strengthen that system. Nobody. You go to America, say, and bring the Chief Justice of America, John Roberts, and say, can't go to Liberia and be our Chief Justice. If the system is weak, nobody will listen to John Roberts. And that's exactly what this justice, as the Supreme Court justice did the last time. He took the Liberian judicial system and put it on a map. And you would think Dr. Chimba will also take the legislature and put it on the map by working with the Supreme Court. It's not people going to say, oh, Dr. Chimba compromised. Oh, he's weak. No. What is the definition of strength? I go back to the barracks. When I was growing up in the barracks, we had a one gizzy boy, the coinsar. So I like fighting. I keep telling you guys, I used to fight a lot, almost every day. So we used to go, right in front of the barracks where they have the flagpole, the field those days. Sometimes they let the grass grow long, higher, where people can crawl underneath. They say they're practicing war. I don't know why practicing war. Yes. People saw all kind of things, Morel. They crawling all under the grass, on the beach, on the sand. They practice. But anyway, when they cut the grass, we used to go over and play football. But at night, we go practice wrestling. Sai is a very short guy. Okay. Let me give you the definition of strength. Bigger than Sai. Stronger than Sai. So it's Sai myself. When I wrestle, what I usually used to do is what they call calibre. Well, you know what I mean. By the way, I never used to like that calibre stuff. You hold the pressing, throw yourself back and throw it over you. I don't like that kind of thing. What I do and what I used to do is hold you, we go like this, I give you the hips. Throw you over. Easy for me. That was easy. So I've discovered that I used to give people a hip a lot. I used to throw pedal ball down for no reason. I can just throw it down. The only person that used to give me a hard time was a little bit was DP, another ground ball from our area. but the rest of the people, they couldn't make it. So Sir find out that I used to give people hip. So what Sir decided to do was go along with my strength, which is the hip. But in the process, before we get that, he want to make sure that I am honoring him. So according to Sir, he practiced it. So when he and I got into it, we're not fighting. We practice wrestling. I'm telling you, serious story. I don't want to call names here because some of them they probably don't want to associate themselves with the story anymore because they're older. But when Sir, the first time he and I got into it, I gave him hip. When I gave him hip, he didn't resist. And I felt it within myself. Because usually when I try to give somebody hip, they will try to resist my hip. And that's when I go with force. So when I gave him a hip, he didn't resist. Next thing I knew, I was at the bottom. I was angry. Yes, a gissy boy. I always throw in that. How the heck he can't over me like this? And everybody laughing at me now. So I said, okay, let's try again. I said, okay. So once again, I go give him hip. He gave up. He never resisted. He just go boom, and I'm down. So when I got up, I shook his hand. So I said, how do you do it? So he said something. I was using your strength against yourself, and it make me strong. For me, that's the definition of strength. Using somebody else's strength against themselves, it make you strong. How do you do that in this case? Dr. Chimba find out that these people are violating their constitution right. Instead of interpreting the law, let's go to the Supreme Court. Let them interpret this part of the law. We know we're right. And then have your lawyer point the article up and see what they're going to argue, how they're going to interpret that law. But by you sitting there interpreting the law now, you're resisting the strength of the Supreme Court. And they're going to knock you down because it's not your place to interpret the law. Samson told La Prop on the radio. Folks, I'm going to go ahead and open the line here. Now that I've given you all of the story about Samson told, I love myself. I really, truly love myself. Of course, everybody loves themselves anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and open the line. And let's have a conversation. I'm not going to be here that long anyway. So I'm listening in from the Boston District Convention tonight. So, but folks, what I'm saying here, even though I'm laughing about it, but this is a very serious business. This is a very serious business. You have these young people, young Liberians, because of the situation back there. This is sad, and I got to mention this. This is very sad. For me, at this age, yeah, sometimes I want to go home and do something. What exactly am I going to do over there now? I'm going to be retiring here very soon. I go over there. What I work at now, I'm going to get my retirement. So what exactly they expect me to do over there? But the sad thing is, these young people, the young Liberian, intellectual, that are coming out of this top university, and we have people over there that are not productive, but we're keeping them because we feel we know them. And these people are going to get whatever energy they have. The United States employment will sap the energy from them because they will employ them, pay them good money, but they will produce. And the production that you're going to need, like brother, will do the production here. But that's not the sad one because they're going to enjoy it. But the sad one is this. Everywhere you go, anywhere in the United States you turn, whether it's rat hole organization, you will find young people there. Any organization from any county, the young people are there. Why? Ask yourself. You think the young people didn't get something to do on a Friday? Right now, as we speak, on a Friday evening, Boston District, the place is packed tonight. Welcome. The place is packed. You think the young people ain't got nothing to do? But to go over and spend $50 or so just to enter a place and hear somebody give a long speech, but they always want to give back. And what is the best way for these people to give back? Have them in Liberia. Let them produce over there. Let them help to teach some of their own brothers and sisters so that Liberia 10 years from now will be in a position where any kinds of software developer, any kinds of technical person would want to carry out technical issue. Well, let's go to Liberia. They have high class educated people over there. We're capable of doing that. What do? We have our young people selling Killer Willie. We started selling Killer Willie since I was born. Growing up in Monrovia, they got boy. They got shortbread, yeah. P4. Our young people continue to sell. They're not moving. They continue to sell. They feel that are persistence, that have the heart, and will allow themselves to suffer. There are not that many. So here's the thing here. When the young people leave from here, those that want to go back home, fight hard and get back home, and have one of these positions, in the morning, in front of their office, line up like this, because everybody wants something from there. Just can you imagine? Everybody in the family depending on you alone. And you call it enjoyment? Open up. 2-3 black installation. $15,000 a month. That's what, 45? You can start a company and use that $15,000 a month, employ people. You will get money in return. You're not going to waste it free. But the initial start, that's the thing that's giving you a hard time. No visionary among you. I don't see it. I don't see it. Everybody begging you to get small government job. Whereas if you think, what can you do in our country? $15,000 a month. 3 of you, 4 of you put together, establish a company, and find out what you can supply to the consumer that people are going to use. You do that, you'll find out, if you start doing it among yourself, you'll find out the line in front of your office building will become shorter and shorter and shorter, because everybody wants money. They want to work for themselves. They don't want to. Nobody wants to beg. This is why you don't know. But instead you have that system strangled. Some people will continue to beg you. So election time, because they're begging you, you say, I wanted, they say, yeah, we'll continue to beg you. Because you're scared. You are afraid. You are afraid of the challenges coming from the young people from abroad. Because if you open up and let people come into work, most likely your other people, your friends will be exposed because they got nothing to offer. And the fear cause you to just strangle the system. Let me be alone here. What kind of society is that? Is that what we're going to be doing years in, year out? Let me be alone. Till we party king, I will be alone. Samuel Doe, people king, will be alone. Any other government come, we will be alone. They don't want to spread out. Go look at the southeastern side. What is the major industrial complex over there that the people will try? If you from the southeastern, all of you guys put together and say, you know what, the senator from the southeastern, each of you, $10,000 every 3 months. And let's form something here that these children are going to gravitate, and you will make money. It's not going to be for free, but you have to identify. Be a visionary. You have to identify certain things that you're going to put all your money in so people will buy. But what you do, you go to Monrovia, you get your $15,000, everybody come begging you. You buy them 1 or 2 bags of rice, that's it. Your children got nothing to go to school. They're begging you. Then when you have this kind of stuff, you have issues like that, they don't even pay attention to it because they're scared. They don't know which way to go. You guys are so afraid. You guys are so afraid that when you have this system strangle, as I said. So anybody that coming to challenge you, they stand no chance because you're always giving people back of rice. There's nothing tangible you're doing except to give people back of rice. Show me some kind of a project. Show me some sort of how do you call it, company that two, three people like selection have put together to benefit the community they live in. Show me. Some of you, after the election, you don't even go back to your area because you are afraid. You are afraid. I'm saying it again. Wakano Morelli, you might attack me. You are afraid. Open up. If you know what you're doing, open up. Those of you that know exactly what you're doing, you scare nobody. You're afraid of no one. Bring the challenge and I will beat you, you say. But if you have nothing to offer except for beck of rice and this and that, so you strangle the system. Let me go ahead. Samson told LeBron Public Radio. Let me open the lines up. Because this is just, it's sometimes, some of us, just get to these kind of things that they get to me sometimes. Because I was in Monrovia. This day and age in Monrovia, people are still using digger to dig hole. What happened to the little bike hole that cost less than $15,000? Even if you go to the auction, you can get some of the things for less than $10,000. But people, you got 5, 6 people digging trenches with digger. Things they used to do way back in total in the 50s. They're still doing it in Monrovia. And we're expecting to move up. Look at that swamp. That kind of land. You take that land, take it somewhere else outside of Africa. The way people would develop that place. But what did they do? They caca all over the beach. Go slavery, battle all over. How are you going to clean it? Because you, the people that are in charge, have made these people feel like this is not their place. Liberians in Liberia feel like they're visiting. So what the heck you expect them to do? To care for the place they know they don't live? Even though they live there, but in the back of the mind they think they don't live there. And what kind of effort you want them to put in? What are they getting? They get up tomorrow morning, they don't even know what the food gonna come from. They think they're visiting. You eat, then you throw the crumb down, the bread crumb, and the people eat it. And then you think it's certified? And then you want to come bring impeachment stuff here? Liberians are very patient people. I was there. I saw it. I saw it. The road that I drove on, I don't know how I would have survived. Thank God. Well, not thank God for me. Thank God, of course. But I don't know how I would have made it over there. Because it's just terrible. By the time for election, and they start promising, we will do this. I will do this. Then you have almost 22 people want to be president. 22 intellectual, 22 bold people, 22 smart people. They all want to be president. Knowing fully well they're not going to be able to be successful to be president. But why they do that? So they can, at the end, then they got to run up, then they throw their support behind somebody, that person win, then they bring them in to be an advisor. Political prostitute. It's just ridiculous. I have to use that word tonight. Okay, let me get out of here before I get in trouble. Okay. This is Samson Toy. Okay. Oh boy. All right, we're talking Liberia. Sometimes we get animated when we talk about Liberia because that's our home. So let me put this on here. I won't be able to listen to myself again. I'm gonna do the phone now because I can't find my other stuff. So give me a call. Samson told 916-533-2048, and let me put it up. Let me put it up. What's it here? I think it was here. Okay. All right, here it comes. What's the other one coming from? All day long. All right, Samson told Liberian Operator. Give me a call, 916-533-2048, and tell me what I say here if it's not right. Okay? That's the number right there. Give me a call. Let me go read some of the comment here. Okay. Wow. Wow. This is a good school, community school. The Howard Christian School of Science and Technology. Some of our hard work in Liberia. Work is in progress. We need your support. Just call me. Okay, I think this is a church group that putting this thing together. I'm not too sure who they are, but it look good, look impressive. I'm pleased about that. Okay, now give me a call, 916-533-2048. I'm also gonna have to leave here early tonight too because I want to listen to the uh, happening in my brothers and sister over there in how do you call it? Baltimore. I'm not too sure what is happening, but I want to see what's going on over there as well. So give me a call. 916-533-2048. But anyway, let me talk one more thing here before I take leave of you here this evening. Okay. All right. Okay, somebody calling, I guess. Okay, let's see. You just said no. Okay. Hello, Samson to LeBron Burrito. What's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is Nathan N. Coin, calling from Princeton, New Jersey. I have a concern about the Supreme Court impeachment.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point, brother.
Yeah, my problem is that this president of office, he has promised to reconcile the country. One of the ways to reconcile the country is his party to call for the impeachment of a sitting justice. This president promised that he would be the president of all the people. I'm from Grand County. That's where I was born. This man, this justice is a Mandingo man. Do you know the implication that would have to take the only man from that tribe to the Supreme Court? If you want to go constitutional way, the president should be pushing taxes for people. Some of the guy there by means that was unconstitutional. Some of them came to permanence by that means. When the constitution was suspended, at Carol's reason, that's how they came to be known. They are today calling for the removal of the sitting justice. Is that how you reconcile the country? They say let's back on. Is that how you go ahead? When you call opposition, less than 24 hours morning, you wanted to appear. Because of the love of the country, the opposition appear. You had nothing to say, to put forward. You had nothing to say. Here is what I call you for. You tell them, I call you, I got 1 year from you. Other one pass. What are you really doing to reconcile the country? What are you really doing to call men and women of wisdom together? And you're right. I listen. You do not. If you cannot have an academic education, you must have common education. Tamatelo, up to this time, he is my favorite library leader because once Ecomo guided him, and the radio man asked him, "Why are you telling the Ecomo people not to ride your guns?" He said, "I got 32 children." I talk on my mind, well, teenager, I got 32 children. If my son do something wrong, I will not take gun and shoot him. I will take the soldier with him. So I don't want everyone running down me with guns. That's how he started to reconcile. And then was a transition chairman. And we are not too far from that. Our democracy, even is old, but is young, practically. And the president has to take his own time. He is just listening to members of his own business, like he's in the back. They're telling you what is not right. They're telling you why you want to be here, and you think it's the reality, but it's not. You have to think for himself, listen to the voice of opposition. You don't have to agree with all of them, but you got to know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. At the end, even if you get 12 years, your party will not be as effective as it is after 12 years. Even the 6 years is disappointed, you have to 1 year. So you got to take time, step back, readjust yourself, and lead the country as a Liberian leader, not as a CDC leader. That's what I got to.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Liberian Pub Radio, Samson Toll. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
My name is Freeman Molova, calling from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Thank you for joining on Liberian Pub Radio. What's on your mind, sir?
My brother, what's on my mind is right. I'm listening to a lot of things you were saying, especially the one that really touched me about putting companies together. My brother, Liberia is just an ordinary country. To really do things in our country is very hard. For common example, some of us, we have the mind of doing something vital. But my brother, the process in which to even make that organization or that company to work, before it even reach to the house, my brother, they went to kill it. What do I mean by this? If you take a document you carry that people are supposed to sign to do a piece of job, the person want money. Let's for instance, we have 5 persons here, and we put $15,000 each together to go open a company. My brother, that money, the lawmaker will just eat the money, and we can't even do nothing. We'll have to come back to America. You see? But if the people really have the country in mind, or they have, if the people really have the country in mind, having system, like the way the country today will live in, that the people have system here, that's not going to be a better place. We have less than 4.5 million people in Liberia. But look at the kind of way the country looking. I just came from Liberia on Monday, my brother. Every little piece of paper you carry in the office, if you don't put 10% down, the person not going to look at your paper. So how are we going to develop this country? How are we going to help this country? It's just difficult. So somebody just really got to sacrifice, and we the Liberian, we have to sacrifice, and the people, which is the lawmaker or whosoever that are responsible to to bring this kind of a property into the country or develop, or the idea of you got to get something before I can do this. We just got to start that. Liberia is a better country. Liberia is a nice country. We all want to be in Liberia. But the way in which things go in Liberia is very sad, is very sick, my brother. Mr. Two, go to Liberia now, go even stay on the line to get your own money from the bank. Sometimes somebody will be sitting on the telephone, instead of them serving you, they play with their telephone to just, for you to just get your money, it will be war. Anything you do, the people don't even pay you no mind. You have to get their money before they can even do their own work. Come on now. How do you think that we're going to go forward? But the people that are responsible, they will be exposed, and God going to deal with them. Liberia going to be a better place to live, like the way back in the days Liberia used to be. So for me, that's my little comment I have to make. But we, Liberia, we are our own problem. That's what I have to say, Mr. Joe.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Folks, Samson, as you are listening for these brothers, if you listen to the tune, they're not too happy, and I don't blame them. But what can we do? We'll continue to talk. Some people will write and say, "Oh, you're talking too much. You don't do nothing." That's okay. We'll continue to talk. All I ask is that we shouldn't be violent. There's no place for violence in Liberia. We can't do that. Let's continue to have conversation. Hopefully, some of these days, someone will listen to us. One of these days, somebody will listen to us, and then it's okay. Maybe these people, they've been saying anything for a long time. Why don't we try something? I hope that will come to pass. But other than that, we'll just continue to talk. Let me take this other call. Samson to Labrador Pub Radio. What's your name and where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, Mr. Two, how you doing? This is African Nathan from Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, Mr. Nathan, welcome. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you for calling.
Thank you, sir. Yes, I want to talk a little bit about, you said something that caught my heart, especially about, our lawmakers, trying to work together to open companies or do something. One thing I realized in Liberia, even our children was supposed to grow up and lobby for companies to come and invest. I mean, it don't even happen. The lawmakers, and even besides taking their own money to create companies, they cannot even go outside to bring investors in the country. The only thing they're depending on in Liberia is for the president to go up there for money, and then they come as soon as the money lands, they all try to take all that money in their pocket. The salary alone cannot even allow the government to function properly. So it's just so far because everybody looking at the president. Just recently when the first lady went to China and talked about okay, they come to Liberia. So when they started jumping on women, it's not a job to bring companies, what you trying to do different people's job. But are they doing their job? Everybody now, the president is everybody now looking for things, but nobody is giving no investment in the country. Because that's what my brother just said. It is frustrating to do something in Liberia. Right now we are in Liberia. We got people in Liberia looking for place for our restaurant. It is difficult. Our lawmakers are only there to put money in their pocket. They don't care about the country until they can realize that they have to seek the interest of Liberia first. So we're not going nowhere. It's frustrating. And that's also that I say the constitution of Liberia has to be suspended. Because the students they read their own law, get their own money, all do everything. Because it's frustrating when you go to one building to do something. I mean, you know what the same thing, it's done like they're doing something different. Because they want you to grab them, give them something. It's frustrating. And as you said, you carry something over there, you say, let me tell you, $5,000 or $15,000. By the time you take grabbing everybody, it's nothing. So they're not bringing the investor, but Liberian people who try to go and invest, they will do everything to discourage you. It is sad. Those are some of the areas the president will have to look into. Some of it is serious. You cannot build all the big roads that we happen to be built when you don't have people to invest. So the guy will do for nothing. So one of the things that I think the president really got to tackle is to make sure that the private business, the corruption goes down in Liberia. When it was talking about war and economic crime, I'm also in favor of it because if you see the same people doing the same thing that we are crying for, it. Oh, we want change, we want change. We want care, we all happy. Yeah, this man lived with us. He knows about it. He talked about it. He will do some of this stuff. But then it's frustrating to see some of the same thing going on. So who's supporting them? People look at them, and are your people? They're your man. They're your man. It's frustrating. He still got his on their heart, and he can do it, but he cannot sit down to say to please everybody. He has to stand on people and do what is right. Corruption is killing us in the country. It is killing us, and some of us are trying to put all our resources together and go and invest. At the end of it, people start back there frustrating and say, I don't want to go back to Liberia because the system is not changing. So we have to work hard. Our government have to try in order for people to go and invest. They will have to try to work on corruption. Because they are making things. I mean, you go into the ministry, I'm not going to be asking the people on what. They marvel you. Just, it is a job you can go to start people that are work for my business. But first of all, you father. I told they see you, the father that is living for you. Okay? The father. The mother. They will leave you sitting out there, they they're doing something, they're not doing nothing. But at the end of it, that's all it is. If you want something to be done, you got to shoot down. I'm paying my taxes. I'm paying what I'm supposed to pay. By the time I finish checking everybody in, I have to open the business again. So it's something that is really sad. Our president, the government need to really come down on corruption in that country. That's the only way we move ahead with it. But it's frustrating for real.
Okay, my brother. I can.
Very sad.
Yes. I mean, anybody that listen to you would get the frustration. The tone of frustration is coming through, my brother. So thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr.
Okay, folks. These are some of the reasons why we do these things here. So that I brought up the radio, so that brothers and sisters that want to express themselves
to call and express himself. But then, sometimes one of the reasons why I don't usually do a lot of phone, because when his frustration starts showing up, it gets to me myself, because I feel for these people. Every one of these people that are calling, they have Liberia at heart. Nobody will call to say, stop the corruption because I don't want to give you money. The guy that just got off the phone, he has his own company here, Nathan Catering Company, and we have a commercial for him. He has a business. He's trying to do a business in Liberia, and he's definitely not going to take white people from here to go work for him over there in Liberia. He will train Liberian to work. And just like he came here, somebody trained him, and he decided to form his own company. The same thing over there. What's wrong with us? Let me take this out of cuff. Samson to Liberia Public Radio. What's your name? Where you're calling from? What's on your mind?
This person calling from Pennsylvania. I'm calling in regard to the impeachment trial.
What's your name now?
Austin.
Okay, all right.
Austin calling from Pennsylvania.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, make your comments, sir.
Yeah. For me, I see that the fact that the errors are getting up, it's not good for democracy. Our democratic system is young. We gotta let the process to play out. But I think my major concern about this is there the only guy who is doing something wrong in the government? Going after him. We haven't seen people go after anybody else from their own party. It's my major concern. But for democracy, we gotta let the process to play out. If people are wrong, if you think somebody because of what they did, and if it's intentional, yeah, you go ahead and do it. We're not going to say, based on trial, the person from the other trial, no, it's not going to power democracy. So what we need to do is, the problem that we're having with these people right now is it across the board, or are you targeting people? Is it selective justice, or is it justice across the board for everybody? This is the question that people can't answer that frustrating with it. Liberians. It's not based on, because the other men are management, the other men are crime, and men are human, and men are global men, so they got to stay in office. No. People should be in offices based on their qualification and on where child is from. So that's the frustration for me. That's why I'm facing this government. It's not only targeting people. When you start targeting people now, then it becomes a problem. Nobody's going to trust the system. And once we don't trust the system not going to work. That's why the system is not working for us. That's what I got to offer today.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. That's a very good point. The question many Liberians have is these type of process, are they across the board, or they're just for geared towards specific person? One other major thing that I think I left out, I didn't point out, is that even if the proceeding, the impeachment proceeding goes through, that the Senate gonna have to go through with it. Guess who's gonna be sitting there as a judge? The Supreme Court Justice, the Chief Justice himself. So if you already have an issue with him from the beginning, and he sits over there, folks, this is Samson Toll, Liberia Public Radio. I want to thank all of you again this evening. Let me just do my little dancing here before my bike. And I still want to dance. Afonso, so you got anything to say? You up there yet? You want me to get up? You ready to come on? Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Call me. Afonso, so that's my boss. I'm calling him like that. Can you imagine what how gonna happen? He coming to fire me. Watch. He will soon call me and say, you know what? You're out of the job. Samson told Liberia Public Radio. Let me play a little music here and dance. Okay, you can call me. That's my number over there, but you can give me a call, 916-533-2044. You can still give me a call, though.
Sabah
Sabajiana yona.
Kapita kambeana.
Hey
Yo,
yo,
Jawai.
Sabajiana yona.
Konsikelana.
Hey yo, Sabajiana yona.
Regina Peana.
Hey yo, Sabajiana yona.
Victor Baniana.
Hey yo, Sabajiana yona.
Wanachianea.
Hey yo, Sabajiana yona.
Yo, Jawai.
Newa, newa, ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa.
Regina Peana.
Newa, newa, ababi desia newa.
Portalo Saliana.
Newa, newa, ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa.
Why you do go watch this show?
Newa, newa, ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa.
Ah, yes.
Ababi desia newa. Newa, newa, ababi desia newa.
Read that a little bit more. I'm tired of. Okay, folks, Samson to LIBERIA Public Radio. I'm tired already. I can't breathe. Okay, anyway, I want to thank all of you again this evening. Let me give the people. I think I see Nathaniel Crypoint and Fanso already on. That means they want control now. So let me get out of here. Okay, folks, I want to thank all of you. We're going to turn control over to Mr. So and Mr. Cry. That is, if they're going to do anything over there. Again, I want to thank all of you on a very serious note. Issue being discussed here tonight. It's not to degrade. I think you heard your own, these Liberians that I don't even know them, but they're feeling the same frustration like any other Liberian. The people choice, the government, which is the people choice, have to listen. I don't think people will say, yeah, there are some people, they call themselves never we are, never we are president, whatever you call it, but they also have the right to criticize. But I think the government have to listen. Folks, we'll keep talking. As long as Nathaniel Crypoint, Alfonso Soul, Mazola Gizi, and the whole of LPR crew continue to give us this type of platform, we'll do what we can. I'm not too sure what they're going to come on tomorrow, but let me turn control over to them. I'll say thank you very much. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. We'll go ahead and leave you with this music.
Mama